Bienvenue. Welcome to the Stadia Monday Night Chat Vacation Edition Part 2. Roll the credits. Bienvenue. Yokoso. Welcome to the Stadia Monday Night Chat, episode 124, Vacation Edition, Part 2. As I said, we have so much to talk about, so many things to discuss. Let's get on with it. So, it's Stadia Pro week, of course. So very excited about that. Welcome one and all, by the way, if you're watching this live. Of course, in the premiere, say hello in the chat and all of that. Once again, I'm in delightful sunny France, but bringing you the Stadia Monday Night Chat, as always. As I say, we've got so much to talk about. Clive will be in the Stadia Monday Night Chat news studio as ever with all the news, including all the Stadia Pro titles. Talking of which, let me know which of those Stadia Pro titles you're most looking forward to. Which of the titles excite you the most, or you're interested in? Do you think it's a good Stadia Pro month? All of that. This is the Stadia Monday Night Chat, as I said. Let's chat about it, yeah? And of course, the big launch of the week, Saints Row. Have you played it? Were you disappointed with it? Did it live up to the hype? All of that. Let me know. Have you purchased it? Again, put it down in the chat. Say hello. Don't be shy. And of course, everybody, remember to like, yeah? Remember to like. Hit the likes. Because I like it, YouTube likes it. And it helps people like you find amazing Stadia content like this. And if you are new here, man, are you in for a treat. Yes? Because we're not only going to have all the Stadia news, all the Stadia Pro titles, we're going to be talking specifically about Stadia being at Gamescon. Exactly as I said the week before. Oh, and of course, the big news from all of that, Dead Island 2 coming to Stadia. Something else that I hinted at in terms of AAA games coming from mid-tier publishers to Stadia. Quelle surprise. I was right again. All of that. Anyway, lovely to see you all in the chat live now and all of that. I'm with you there in the chat somewhere. Why don't I take a little seat here and we find out what's happening in the Stadia news in the week as we cut to Clive over in the Stadia Monday Night Chat news studio. Clive, it's over to you.
How come I'm not on vacation? Oh. Welcome to the Stadia Monday Night Chat news for the 29th of August 2022. In a week that saw a big AAA land on Stadia in the form of Saints Row Rebooted from Deep Silver, it was a bumper news week for Stadia. Last week's big news was the trailer reveal of Dead Island 2 at Gamescom, with the Stadia logo alongside all the others at the end. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, another AAA banger is coming to Stadia, and this time it's February 2023. Again, from Deep Silver, Dead Island 2 is the very long awaited sequel to Dead Island 1, released more than 10 years ago. It's set several months after the events of Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide. Dead Island 2 differs from its predecessors by taking place in various locations in California. The game is slated to release on multiple platforms, as I said, including Stadia, on February the 3rd, 2023. Originally, this was announced in 2014, and the game has undergone a difficult development period due to multiple changes. But for many, it is a much anticipated game and an absolute great get for Stadia. As stated by Clive in last week's Stadia Monday Night Chat, if you're looking for AAAs coming to Stadia in the near future, other than Ubisoft, it's more than likely going to be from mid-tier publishers just like Deep Silver, rather than the EAs and Take-Two and Activisions, etc. For now, that is, until Stadia expands and increases its player base. And once again, he was right in his observation. Quelle surprise! Yars Recharged from Atari came as an early Pro title as it launched on multiple platforms last week, going straight into the Stadia Pro library, rather than waiting until September the 1st. Yars Recharged is another great reimagining of an Atari classic, and a sign that Atari is clearly seeing the benefit of Stadia Pro, and it has a great and burgeoning relationship with Stadia. Look out for more Atari games coming to Stadia soon, as hinted by Atari in a tweet last week. In addition, in a recent interview with Atari's new CEO, Wade Rosen, he revealed that Atari is looking at doing 1 to 2 new IPs a year. I can see this Stadia and Atari relationship being very fruitful. Old respected gaming brand trying to make itself relevant meets new gaming brand of the future looking for gaming brand credibility. There's a synergy to be had there somewhere. Talking of Stadia Pro games, the Stadia Pro games for September were announced in a This Week on Stadia blog post last week. As speculated last week on this show, again shout out to Clive and his prediction last week, how does he do it? Tri-6 Infinite is going to be a Stadia Pro game. Race in a futuristic Tron-inspired endless racetrack that will test your driving mettle. While the first few levels may be smooth driving, the latter levels will ramp up in difficulty. Soon players will be greeted by generated obstacles that appear at a maddening pace. Tunnels, lasers, sharp turns, and opponents are just some challenges that players have to navigate through. Super popular and fun Overcooked All You Can Eat joins as a Stadia Pro title as well. With over 200 levels, 80 chefs, players will traverse the land of Onion Kingdom to cook up a whole range of recipes in a variety of kitchens. But if you think the game is a walk in the kitchen, you're sorely mistaken. This restaurant simulator throws you into cooking chaos right away. Players will use teamwork to serve as many dishes as they can to satisfy hungry customers before the timer runs out. Packaged as Overcooked 1 and 2 with add-on content, this revamped version is the ultimate Overcooked thus far. Joining Overcooked is the more somber, chill game in the form of Spiritfarer. Spiritfarer is a cozy management game about dying. Wait, dying you say? Yeah. Players assume the role of a ferry master that sends off spirits on a final, memorable journey on a ship before their transition to the afterlife. Stadia Pro title for the kids now, from Outright Games of course. PJ Masks, Heroes of the Night will save the day. Follow superheroes Catboy, Owlet and Gecko in PJ Masks, Heroes of the Night as they protect the city from evildoers. Our protagonist will face off against the villains, Romeo, Luna Girl, and Night Ninja, who are trying to take over the world. All in all, that's 5 Stadia Pro titles added to the Pro library. All the Pro titles will be available from the 1st of September, with Yars Recharged already on Stadia Pro. Life is Strange 2 could be closer to arriving on the platform, joining Life is Strange Remastered, and Life is Strange Before the Storm, and Life is Strange True Colours. Life is Strange 2 has recently been certified on ESRB. In Life is Strange 2, the plot follows the aftermath of a tragic incident. Brothers Sean and Daniel Diaz run away from home, fearing the police and dealing with Daniel's newly manifested telekinetic power. The power to move objects with your mind. The boys decide to travel to their father's hometown of Puerto Lobos in Mexico for safety. Suddenly, 16-year-old Sean is responsible for Daniel's safety, shelter, and teaching him right from wrong. As Daniel powers grows, it's up to Sean to decide the rules by which they live. Keep the power secret or use it to help them in their journey. Beg, borrow, or steal, reach out to family, or stay hidden. As Sean, your choices shape the fates of the Diaz brothers and the lives of everyone they meet. Life is Strange True Colours came to Stadia Store nearly 12 months ago, so could we see this title on the anniversary? And could it be another Pro title, as we saw for Life is Strange? Free trials now, and free trials on Stadia continue to grow, with another 7 titles taking the number of Stadia free titles, with no Stadia account needed, to well over 140 titles. New free trials include 9 to 5, Darkwood, Jackbox Party Pack 6 and Party Pack 7, The Gardens Between, Killer Queen Black, and Crater. And finally, further to details about Samsung Odyssey Arc gaming entertainment monitor that comes with Samsung Gaming Hub, so you can play Stadia and Xbox and GeForce Now and Luna in the US straight from their app. Samsung has revealed that the Gaming Hub will also feature as part of 2 new gaming monitors in the form of Odyssey G6 and the Odyssey G7 series. The G70B is available in 28-inch and 32-inch sizes, offering 144Hz refresh rate and a 1 millisecond response time. The G65B is offered in 27 and 32-inch size options and is equipped with a 240Hz refresh rate and 1 millisecond response time. This is great for Stadia, as every time the Samsung Gaming Hub is featured in promotions or adverts, the Stadia app is front and center. And with the 140 plus free trials, anyone buying a new monitor can easily try Stadia without having to sign up. And with that, it's back to Clive in the Stadia Monday Night Chat studio. No, I'm sorry, I mean his vacation home in sunny France. Clive, au revoir and bonjour.
Thanks, Clive. So there you go. That was the Stadia Monday Night Chat news for the week. Lots of great things. One thing missed off the news I noticed there. Yeah, pay attention, please. Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader also dropped in Stadia. Bit of a kind of stealth drop, really, which I guess we're getting so many games from Stadia that occasionally they just appear. And, you know, some of the marketing's got to be down to the publisher and that kind of stuff. But anyway, bit of a stealth drop. We knew it was coming. We'd seen, I think it was certified. There was rumours it was coming anyway. So it's just another title that they, you know, Stadia needs to add these titles, drop them. Plus, there's 2 other titles from Outright Games. And they're introducing complete editions. And my mind's gone dead which ones they are, but they're 2. Can we count them as new games though? That's the thing, a complete edition. So the game's already, sort of the base version of the game already exists in Stadia, both these games, but now the complete edition, so it's the base version plus all the DLC and additional content. And they're both from Outright Games. They're coming to Stadia as well, I forgot to mention that. But the big news, obviously, from last week was the announcement of Dead Island 2. This is a much anticipated AAA game. It is a AAA game. Anticipated because it seems to have been lost in development hell. I think it was mentioned like over 10 years ago that they were developing it. As Clive mentioned, a bit of the history in the Stadia Monday Night Chat news. But it is a AAA title coming to Stadia. And as I alluded to earlier on, last week, somebody said, you know, we need more AAAs or whatever. And I said to them that we'll get AAAs, but if you are currently, so this is now, not forever, but currently, if you are expecting big AAA games coming to Stadia, don't expect to see them from EA's, Take-Two's, Activision's, etc., you know, or Epic, or whatever it is. Don't expect to see them from them yet, yeah, because I've talked about how, you know, the Stadia player base isn't big enough for some of those big, you know, multi-publish, you know, giant global publishers to get out of bed for, right? We know that. FIFA was an exception because it's like a money machine. And even on Stadia, it makes a shed load of money for FIFA for EA, hence they dropped FIFA. So other than Ubisoft titles, where are the AAA titles in the next few months going to come? And I said last week specifically, where they're mid-tier publishers, just like Deep Silver, of course, brought us Saints Row, we could probably expect to see more AAA games come from them to Stadia. Yeah, because their threshold in terms of the return on investment is probably less, is probably slightly less than the EAs, Activisions, Take-Twos, etc., who are probably being more conservative or cautious about what they release into the cloud, as it's a sort of nascent business. And then so what happens? Deep Silver, I shout out Deep Silver last week saying they are the sort of publisher we might see a AAA from. What happens? Dead Island 2, AAA game, coming from Deep Silver, just as I said. People, every week for the last few weeks, I've dropped hints about things. Hinted how Stadia need country expansion the following week. What happens? They announce Mexico. Yeah? Hinted at FIFA coming. What happened? FIFA's coming. Yeah? Hinted that we can expect to see AAAs from the mid-tier publishers like Deep Silver. What happens? We get them. Can you see a pattern here, ladies and gentlemen? Do you see a pattern watching this show? See what happens? Yeah? Anyway, very exciting stuff. Let me know in the chat whether you were super excited about Dead Island 2. I mean, it looks pretty gruesome, but it looks pretty fun as well. Are your expectations high, low, all of that? Let me know in the chat. The other thing I wanted to mention as well and discuss perhaps in more detail is Stadia at Gamescom. So I'm not just talking about the Stadia logo, logo gate. I mean, what a pleasant surprise. I think we've sort of been conditioned to have such low expectations when it comes to sort of game conferences and announcements, big public announcements, seeing the Stadia logo, that I think we were probably all blown away. I was caught out, even though I said we could expect AAAs from Deep Silver. Put it this way, I was pleasantly surprised to see the Stadia logo there on the first day, on the first big announcement there for, Dead Island 2 from Deep Silver, and there, front and centre, along with all the other logos, the Stadia logo. Great, lovely to see, pleasant, super pleasant surprise. Extra super pleasant because it confirmed everything I said from the week before, made me look brilliant. Thank you, Deep Silver, and all of that. But I also mentioned last week that the thing about these big games conferences and stuff, some are much more public facing and some are industry events. Like E3, although they used to let the public in and it's much more of sort of a public showcase than it was, at the heart of it was always an industry event. And when I used to go to E3, from an industry perspective, it was the opportunity to meet people, do business. That's what it's there. You're doing games industry business. You're filling up your diary with meetings, meeting publishers, meeting developers, meeting licensors, and all of those kind of stuff, doing deals. Yeah? That's what it was for. And plus, on the other side, it was to kind of announce games, try to sell, sell projects you're working on, all of that, or acquire projects that people are working on, as well as all the big announcements that we've kind of known to come and love. And Gamescom effectively is the European version of that. It is the meeting of publishers and developers to showcase up-and-coming games, to talk to people, to business, network, and all of that. And it's behind the scenes as an industry person that you fill your diary with these meetings, hoping to meet with developers or publishers, like I said. And as I mentioned last week, Stadia, we know Stadia, we're going to Gamescom. If you pay attention, certainly if you paid attention to last week, I told you they were going to Gamescom. We know I know various sources, some of which are public and some of which perhaps aren't. That's all I'm going to say. But we knew members of the Stadia staff were looking forward to Gamescom in terms of going there, because they actually mentioned some events that they were going to, looking forward to going to this event, blah, blah, blah. Subsequent to that, Yves Holder, creator, don't know why I said it in a Swedish accent. Yves Holder. Anyway, forget that. The creator of 100 days, the winemaking simulation. I'm in winemaking country, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, France! I should have a glass of wine, shouldn't I? Go down to the wine cellar here and get a dusty old bottle of wine. Anyway, Yves Holder tweeted out that he'd been to Gamescon, or the company had been to Gamescon, and they'd had their meeting with Stadia. They met with Stadia, so like a business meeting. Like I said, that's what you do at these sort of industry events, a business meeting with Stadia, and they were very excited about what's coming, and some of the features. Now, obviously, that sent the Twitter sphere, and also, it was posted on Reddit as well, because, some people on Reddit don't read Twitter. It sent the Twitter sphere into a bit of a meltdown. Oh, what are these features? Oh, I hope it's new games. I hope it's more country expansion. I hope it's, I don't know, 4K, 120. I hope that, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Yves can't tell us exactly what those features are because he'll be under an NDA. But it shows that Stadia are presenting roadmaps of where they think they will be, country expansion, features they're bringing. Why? Because they're selling themselves to publishers and developers, saying, this is why you need to be on Stadia. This is what we are doing. We are not standing still. We are doing stuff to develop the platform. So there's a lot of wild speculation. And as ever, a lot of it is fueled by the expectation of some big thing. Yeah, some big event. Now, I think it will be significant. I think the features are significant, but I don't think they'll be what you think they are. And at first sound, they may be like, oh, is that it? And yet I think they're more significant than people take for granted until they sit down and really think about the significance of the features that may be coming. So, there's less point for Stadia. So if we think about what those features might be, don't think about features from a Stadian's perspective. Like if you already have Stadia, the features are great for us. New features like that are great for us, but less beneficial for the bigger picture in terms of Stadia. What Stadia need to do are bring features that will benefit the promotion of Stadia to people who don't have Stadia. So they can't be too game orientated. 120 frames per second, all of that kind of stuff, because although that's brilliant and although that's exciting, you're aiming at a much smaller niche. We know the Stadia demographic, anecdotally, and plus what we've seen, are sort of lapsed gamers, people who maybe previous gamed on the PlayStation 4, on the previous generation. So Stadia's already a step up for them, right? Like it was a step up for many of us. Like I've always said, Xbox One, when Stadia arrived, fired up Destiny 2, blown away because Destiny 2 on Stadia looked and played better than my Xbox One. People ask me about FIFA. My FIFA, I did a video about FIFA on Stadia, several thousand views on it, whatever. And a few people have said, what's FIFA like on Stadia? I used to play it on the PlayStation 4, so I can't be bothered to buy a new console, but I love playing FIFA. Is it worth it? And I'm thinking, if your experience is the old generation, then it is an upgrade playing on Stadia. And it's not far short of a PlayStation 5. This is FIFA I'm talking in particular. It's not far short of PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X in terms of the quality. Not quite as good, but it's not far. So, you're going to have a great experience. So that's the core demographic. So the features, if they're going to really benefit Stadia and increase the player base, which is what Yves has said, need to be features that make Stadia even more accessible or even more frictionless, especially if Stadia is expanding to other countries. That means there'll be marketing budgets in those countries to get people to try Stadia. And we know if you put in any form of gate, like Stadia in the early days, you couldn't even look at the game library without having an account. At least now you can check out games without having an account. You've still got to put your Gmail in and things like that, like for the demo. At least we've got free trials and demos. You still need to put in a Gmail account to give those demos account, but you don't need a Stadia but you don't need a Stadia account. So it's making it slightly more friction free, as it were. Not friction free. Yeah, friction, not quite frictionless, but getting close to be frictionless. So I can see the features building on that, yeah, to make it even more frictionless for new people, especially new people in new countries. Like I said, Stadia has never been better than it is now in terms of features, games, free trial, everything. Yeah, this is the best Stadia's ever been, and tomorrow it'll be even better. Yeah, but how do we get people to try it? How do you get people to try Stadia? You do that by making it as easy as possible. So I think the features will be more along those lines. They won't be necessarily adding to features to benefit people who already play Stadia. I think they'll be the sort of features that will make it even easier for people to try Stadia. Yeah? Because we know from experience, anecdotal experience, most people go in to try Stadia with very low expectation. In a way, ironically, that's a good thing. You know, for all the bad marketing, all the bad press, ironically, it means that people's expectations are low. But when they try it, we know anecdotally, as perhaps many of us were when we first tried Stadia, are blown away. You see it on Twitter all the time. You see it on Reddit even. That open, you know, poor, bless them, those poor naive souls who come to the Stadia Reddit for the first time. Little do they know. Anyway, who go, oh my God, I've just tried Stadia. I was blown away. I thought it was rubbish. It didn't work, blah, blah, blah. I was blown away. You just want people trying it. And the more people you can try it, you launch into a new country, you promote it in that new country, you want people to be able to try it without any restrictions, without any steps. Just give it a go. Literally, you know, ideally, it's just a link. And that's what it is. Remember, Phil Harrison said in 2019, Stadia is just a link. And the more you make the accessibility of it to be just a link, and when I mean that, I mean like not a link and then you just enter a Gmail account and off you go. You don't need a Stadia account, but at least take that away. Yeah? Imagine you just like click here and play. And you play the demo. No Gmail, anything, just play. Imagine that. And you could just put that link anywhere. Curious, just click here. And the game opens. That is the kind of feature that would be, you know, awesome if it came to Stadia. But it's the sort of feature, it's not the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, that many people are speculating about. You know, oh, more AAA, we need big games, or it's pointless doing anything else. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but... Yeah, well, you failed because you are a Debbie Downer. Yeah? All that kind of stuff. I think the features will not blow you away at first sight, but when if you sit down, there'll be the sort of features, again, speculation, that's all I'm saying, speculation, but I think if I was Stadia, there would be the sort of features that get Stadia into more people's hands as easy as possible. Those are the features I think that are interesting and exciting and will help push Stadia to more people, because we know once people try Stadia, they're normally blown away because their expectations are low. Maybe this is Stadia playing 8D chess. Yeah, yeah, mind blown. Yeah, get people thinking Stadia's rubbish. Then when they play it, they're blown away. And wow, joking. Anyway, the other people, like what got me. So those are the features. But put in the chat. That's just me speculating. Put in the chat what you think these features might be that Eves has hinted at. You know, as I said, he set the cat among the pigeons. He set the old tongues are wagging on Twitter and Reddit. Very exciting. But I just think that potentially it could lead to people being disappointed because many people, how can I say this without sounding Donald Trump? Some people have a sort of very narrow view of what is a feature in terms of, you know, it needs to be a big headline feature. When not necessarily, it could be a small feature that has a significant long-term benefit. That's all I'm saying. The other thing I noticed on Twitter when this all came out is people going, what? Stadia were at Gamescon. I was surprised. I thought, well, you obviously don't watch this show. because I talked about it last week. I was in Rock's chat, and he was talking about how, Stadia are these things behind the scenes, just like I was saying, and somebody in chat was going, "Oh, do you think Stadia will be at Gamescom?" Blah blah blah, and it's like, yes, they will be. We know that because a member of the Stadia staff has said, "Oh, we're looking forward to going to such event at Gamescom, whatever." They're not going there on a holiday. They're going there as part of their business. And subsequent to that, how do we know how many people? Because I saw other people in Twitter going, "Yeah, but that's just one developer." What do you need? Do you want more proof? Well, I'll give you more proof. I say a member of the Stadia staff tweeted out themselves, so I can make this public, because it is public. There was at least 20 of them, Stadia staff, at Gamescom doing business in terms of having meetings, talking to publishers, developers about new features, why they should bring their games to Stadia, what Stadia's doing in the future, all behind doors stuff, presenting roadmaps, no doubt, all of these kind of things. Yeah, they're not ready for the public. We'll know about them when they're ready, when they're launched. Developers need to know about them in advance in order to make decisions about, bringing their games to Stadia and all of that kind of stuff. So very exciting things. I think you need to keep your hat on in terms of expectation, but also see things, the features that may be coming, as things that will drive the uptake of Stadia. It's not just about the games. Games help, of course they do. But it's about people trying Stadia. Yeah, the most people who moan about Stadia are the ones who haven't tried it. Yeah, because they've just read bad things about it. So if you can make it easier for people, I don't want to put my email in. Just make it, literally, imagine if you just literally click a link, and you're playing the game. Yeah, like a trial or something. No Gmail required, anything like that. Imagine that kind of feature. Again, speculation, could be anything. But, it's features like that. People talk about integration into YouTube and things like that. Of course, that would be amazing. And if you set up the feature, like I said, then you can do that. Not just YouTube, into social media. And they talked about this again. None of this is new. They talked about this at the Google for Games Developer Conference way back in March this year, about creating game landing pages, creating that link so that they could be used and shared in social media and stuff like that. So if you can refine that feature and improve on that feature with all the free trials that are available, 144 plus? They keep probably adding trials today, and I haven't even looked. That's how regular the trials get dropped. Anyway, as I say, it's speculation. Let me know in the chat what you think the features may be, what features you think Stadia need. But here's your homework, if you're going to put in the comments, yeah? Don't think what you need as a Stadian. Think from the perspective of somebody who's not tried Stadia. What would bring you to try Stadia? That's the interesting conversation, I think. Not the converted. How do we convert the disbelievers, the non-believers? How do you convert them into being Stadians? Think like that, because that's how Stadia need to think. It's not about appeasing and necessarily keeping happy the people who are already playing Stadia, because the majority of people who are playing Stadia on a regular basis are pretty happy with it. So put your efforts, your limited efforts that you've got, resources, put them into getting more people on. And that's country expansion. But then when you expand to that country, how do you get people to try Stadia? What features can you do? What things can you do to Stadia to make people want to try it? Make it easy to try. Those kind of things that I'm talking about. Anyway, there you go. I would spend time in chat, but this is not live. This is pre-recorded. So lots of interesting things. Have the discussion within the chat. Have it on Twitter and all of that. I hope you found that useful. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, as I said, please like the video, because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find amazing Stadia content like this. And if you want to I want to stop seeing people surprised by certain news that I've talked about the week before, yeah, in Stadia, about Stadia, yeah? And the way to do that is to watch this damn show, yeah? If you truly want to be informed, educated and entertained, even when I'm on holiday, Stadia Monday Night Chat, you know where it's at, yeah? For several weeks, been dropping hints, and those hints have been coming true. There's a pattern here. Think about it, yeah? Anyway, on that note, have a wonderful, wonderful Stadia week. Enjoy the Stadia Pro games that are coming up later this week and all of that. Those in the UK, I hope you're enjoying your bank holiday. And I will see you all, same place. Well, I won't be in the same place. Same place, same time, next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful Stadia week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Subscribe and all of that if you're new. Au revoir. Goodbye. Roll end titles, please.